So, hello everyone, and Happy New Year. We're beginning another journey with the Dark Goddess and Venus this year, and I'm really excited. I can feel the power of it pushing at the doors for the doors to kind of swing open. And just as we started, actually, we two of the people here live are born under the sign of Fiercus, which is the 13th sign. So it's between the 30th of November and the 17th of December, if you're born then. It sort of spans Scorpio and Sagittarius. And It's basically said to be Asclepius in the heavens. So Asclepius is the father of medicine, and his daughter Hygeia has these dreaming temples. And from actually the outset a few years ago, I've always felt our work connected to Hygeia and the dreaming temples and the ancient temples of Apollo in Greece. I know a few people ended up in Greece this year. So we're drawing on this incredible lineage, pouring through us all in our individual ways, and then blending that into this powerful cauldron of priestesses and intentions and prayers. And so, for anyone out there thinking of joining us, this is very much a proactive, co-creative astrology group. It's not just about sort of passively receiving information, but about embodying and creatively working with these energies and really changing our lives, changing the planet through our embodiment of these goddess essence energies. So let me share my, I've been creating a lovely thing this afternoon. So I'm going to share this. Let me make it bigger. Present full screen. Are you going to work? Present. There we go. Okay. Things are flying all over the place here. Okay, so today, one of the things we're going to be doing today is preparing for next Monday is the fifth Venus moon gate. This resonates with the solar plexus, and it's in Gene Key 5, line 1, which has to do with timelessness. So we've gone from the fourth gate of immortality, and now we're going into this fifth gate of timelessness. And that whole thing about timelessness has come up so many times today. And just like the sense of fearlessness we have when we actually touch the reality of timelessness, because a lot of our fear is kind of based on our mortal life and time's running out, and we're not going to have enough time to do these things we want to do. And when we step into timelessness, it's like it's already all happening. It's happened already. So we kind of get into like a really relaxed place, I guess. Okay, so some of the things we're going to talk about today, and then we'll open the floor up for conversation. So keep a lookout for the parts of the zodiac, the gene keys that may be relevant to you personally as well. And also your interpretations are always welcome. So we're going to talk about the Venus-Mars conjunction that's coming up in February. We're going to talk about Pluto going back into Aquarius for the second time. We'll be leaving Capricorn for good. Saturn and Neptune in Pisces, these big planets have a great influence on us. We're going to talk about Juno in Virgo, who's moving retrograde. So she's going largely over Gene Key 47 while this whole Venus-Mars energy plays out. And so Juno's goddess of the sacred marriage is very powerful in that 47 key of transmutation. And we're going to look at Vesta and Estrella, who traveled together pretty much the whole of last year and are still traveling together now. So this is the priestess and the sacred artist. These two are really shaping the world. Yeah, when I left out there, well, a couple of things. So today the sun is in the 38 line 2. This is called the Warrior of Light. And most of you here were actually on the Return of Light 40-day meditation that begins today. But if you're watching this on YouTube or you're watching afterwards, please come along and join in either live at 6 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. UTC, or you can watch the video. There's a new video every 5 days as we change gene keys that will be created. And it's a very grounding meditation, welcoming back the light. Venus right now is in the 34, line 4, so she's actually in Ophiuchus right now. And I love this as our beginning point for this year because the line 4 is the heart, so it's the heart of the queendom and moving from the shadow of force to strength and to majesty. And in all my groups, this thing about force has been coming up. You know, someone here mentioned force is trying too hard. Or even trying in a way is a force. So how can we get to this position of even more beingness and allowing like the life force to flow through us in a powerful way, because it is very powerful, and we don't really have to force anything once we realize that. We just have to accept that maybe things aren't going to go exactly the way we thought they were going to go. So we have to let go of our expectation and surrender to what actually is on the journey. Mars is doing this really interesting thing called outer bounds, where it goes, I'll explain it more at another time. It's not quite the right time to go into it because it's a bit complicated. But from the 21st of December, it went into this thing called outer bounds for 33 days. And this means it can kind of, it's quite a wild card, Mars, right now. So anything could happen. And I love the 33. The number 33 is to do with the coding of the universe. And my feeling is that Mars is saying there's an opportunity here for this recoding of the universe, of our own bodies and energies to take place in a really powerful way right now. And Mars is actually crossing the galactic center right now, so is receiving this energy from the heart of creation. You know, the messages of the new are coming into Mars's being, and then the neutrinos flow to us. Mercury actually goes retrograde today at 26 degrees, sorry, Gene Key 26, line 6. So this is wonderful because the 26 is like quicksilver in the gene key. So Mercury going retrograde here is fantastic, and it's 22 Sag actually. I mentioned Juno, I've mentioned Vesta and Estrella. Gene key 52 is very important for them. Hygeia is moving into Pisces today, coming in conjunction with Saturn in the 55th gene key of freedom. So Hygeia is actually Asclepius's daughter in mythology, who is Ophiuchus in the heavens. So you might say Hygeia is how that energy finds its way through the divine feminine, especially the world of dreaming, meditation, sound healing, into the realm of healing. And very, very strong in Pisces because she had dreaming temples. So Hygeia in Pisces feels like this is really maybe her best sign of the zodiac. Apart from Virgo as a healer, Pisces would be very strong for her. And then we have Neptune in the 36. I'm really tuned into the squirrel right now. And this thing I learned about the squirrel being able to fix its eyes on where it wants to land. And I really feel that Squirrel is our helper right now. Someone here, I won't mention names, said they feel like Neptune is going to help us with Saturn in Pisces in the 55. And I really feel the truth of that Neptune is offering, you know, that dissolution of the past, perhaps. And then we've got Chiron and the North Node. Chiron's in the 63 today, North Node's in the 22, and so very soon Chiron and the North Node will be in the 22 Jinki, which is the divine feminine involuting transmission. So that's going to be very powerful as well. Okay, so I'm going to jump a bit because I want to talk. Well, this is the thing that kind of happens first, apart from our Venus moon gate, but we're going to go back to that, is that we have this event on the 23rd of January, where we can, actually it happens on the 20th of January, that Pluto and the Sun move simultaneously together into Aquarius. So if you were part of this group, you might remember we went into Aquarius. Pluto went into Aquarius before, and lots of astrologers were talking about the opening of the age of Aquarius, like the door's been open, but now it like swung open. But then what happened is Pluto went back into Capricorn, cleaning up these old structures, dissolving these old structures. So what's amazing is that at the moment it moves back into Aquarius, it's actually conjunct the sun. It's just like, wow. So not only is the door flung open, but the light is shining. So it's just like, oh my God, you know, you couldn't script this stuff for how beautiful this actually is. And just to point out here a few of the things I've talked about. Here we have Juno in the 47. She's going retrograde, 21 degrees Virgo. So the 47th Jinki is very transmutative. So at the same time as Pluto going into Aquarius, we've got Venus and Mars in this incredible dance. And we have Juno transmuting this alchemical field of male and female. So it's very exciting. And here is Vesta and Astrea doing their thing. And here we see that Hygeia has just moved beyond Saturn there. So even by the 23rd of January, Saturn and Hygeia are working together. So she's going to help us with all our limitations and obstacles, our Saturn issues. Okay. Oh, I think I went the wrong way. And just to mention that entry into Aquarius is in Jinki 60, which is called the cracking of the vessel. So the old vessel cracks and the light comes through, and we move from limitation to realism, to justice. So this is a really interesting gene key to, you know, this gift of realism. It's actually a very magical gene key, even though it's got this gift of realism. This is quite paradoxical. Okay, so here's the Venus-Mars conjunction. I mentioned Mars is this thing called out of bounds. Anything is possible. That's how I feel this energy is. Mars goes on this like crazy dance, doing something different. They're different time periods. So I think the 33 days is significant, that it's 33 days numerologically. And the sun will transit all of this during our 40-day meditation practice. So here we have Venus and Mars lining up, and we can see that they're very close to Pluto there at 1 degree Aquarius. Now, what to me is so exciting is that this is gene key 41, emanation, and this is the start codon. So in the gene keys, you have 1 start codon and 3 end codons. So this gene key is like massively important because it basically begins the whole new genetic program. So if there's something new to be built, the 41 has to begin it. And so it's like, as far as recoding goes, it's like, wow, you know, another like massive wow. And Pluto is right there. And this is the coding of the Aquarian era. I'd be quite interested afterwards to hear about what you felt as you grew up, as you went through life. What does the age of Aquarius actually mean to you? Okay, so what else is going on here that's very interesting is that we have, I mentioned this before, you can see the Chiron is coming conjunct the north node. So karmically, the energy is all moving towards the north node here. Actually, that can't be the 22nd gene key. I've made a mistake there. So ignore that, but you can see that they're coming conjunct. And that's going to be really powerful healing because Chiron is the wounded healer when they come conjunct. Okay, so let's click forward. So I mentioned that our next Venus moon gate will be next week. It's in gene key 5, line 1, which has to do with timelessness. So it's Monday, the 8th of January, and we're going to have a ceremony with writing, art, that's led by a number of people in the small group where we follow Venus through her, the descent of Inanna, basically. So in the Inanna myth, we're descending into the morning star phase, into the 5th gate, where Inanna has to give up her golden ring. So the golden ring is obviously a wedding band. And so we can see that also in the Venus Inanna story, that there's a special emphasis right now on perhaps about giving up the expectations around partners or not having partners. You know, there's a massive field of expectation, this marriage field. So it feels like it, you know, the having to surrender the ring has a meaning on that level. But as we go through it, we will discover more experientially. So here's Juno. I love this image of Juno. The peacock is her special animal. I have this on my website, actually, this picture. So she's going through the 47 with her transmuting powers, and the 40 I think the 40 shows us a lot where we're giving our power away and we're feeling exhausted. If we're feeling exhausted, it's like we're out of alignment with divine will because we're worrying and fighting. As soon as we surrender to the divine will, that energy that is always there, like can flood through us, and it's so good for our vitality. So this, I feel, is about honoring ourselves and the others, facing our fears around intimacy and freedom, and remembering that everything is going on inside ourselves. This is where the alchemy is taking place. So even though it may appear that outside things are chaotic, agitating you, triggering you, if we always bring it back to the inside, that is where the alchemical work can be done. And we can really help each other stay on track with all of that. And yeah, here we have Neptune in the 26th, in the 36, sorry. I'm not sure about that 6322. I'm going to check on that because I thought 22 is a Pisces key. But yeah, so I think I've just looked that up wrong. But this Neptune in Pisces, you can see we've got a lot going on in Pisces. We've got the Sun, we've got Saturn, we've got Hygeia still there. So yeah, a lot of that Piscean energy is being very activated right now. And that's it. That's my final thing. So yeah, any thoughts on that? But I would love to know as well, like um what you felt the Age of Aquarius was going to be about, and has it been that, or has it been something else? I'm going to stop the recording now for our sharing. Yeah, so let me go.